I went to school for mechanical engineering, so I worked as an engineer for a while.
Oh,
And
wow.
recently, when the Garage Bats contacted me, that's when I started drumming again. I started when I was 14, and I left for about 10 years, and it was a really big mistake. And I recently got back into it 2 years ago with them. But some college and all through high school, I was a Latin jazz drummer.
Oh, wow.
So rock was something I already knew because it came naturally to me. But I wasn't a trained rock musician. I learned that, vamping it, playing it by ear, and listening to the Garage Bats and just adding, like I say, syncopation, that comes from my jazz background, adding offbeats. And that recording that you heard, that the song I Never Thought, that's actually not me playing the drums. I'm a little different. I do more fills. I get more aggressive.
Oh.
I'm more offbeat. I add a little more flavor to the songs, not to knock the other drummer off.
No.
But we're just different drummers. My style is different. My approach is different.
No, that's cool. I like hearing about your background because, Latin drumming and jazz drumming, that's really cool because I'm a huge jazz fan as well. So, like I said, I'm not a drummer myself personally, but no, I respect all the good jazz drummers out there, and it just blows me away of some of the stuff they can do. So it's interesting to me. And my little sidetrack here is Ralph. You're talking about Slipknot. I'm a huge fan of Slipknot. And just jumping back here 1 second to Sepultura, I have never seen Sepultura live, but I've seen Slayer live. And
Yes.
I've seen Slayer. I saw them twice. I saw them for their album Rain and Blood, and I saw them for their album.
Blood, baby.
Yeah,
This is my language.
yeah,
In '88, I saw that to him.
That's another language, man.
yeah. And I saw them for God Hates Us All. And when I saw that concert, I saw them at a place called Heartbells in Detroit. And I kid you not, there was actually bullet holes in that wall.
Yeah, I believe it.
But what a great concert, man! Absolutely loved it.
We saw Slayer at Lemoore West back in '88. That was amazing. Lemoore's in Brooklyn. That was the show.
Nice. Catherine Nolan?
The most aggressive band that I've seen, and I never got to see Slayer, is a big regret for me. And we were actually thinking about doing a remake. And it was funny because, the Scream, I can do the Tom Araya Scream.
Right.
And we were fucking around about that and joking about it. But, it's one of my biggest regrets is not seeing Ozzy in concert and not seeing Slayer. And, one of the most aggressive bands that I ever saw was Manowar.
Oh
Yep.
my God.
Oh man.
Back in the 80s.
Yeah, another great '80s metal
Another
band.
great 80s band. Manowar. What an aggressive sound.
Absolutely. So, Catherine Nolan, go ahead. Sorry.
Actually, what you're talking about, all the energy in the music and all of that, and how it changes. And I know that you weren't the drummer on this one, but I was just wondering how the outro, the ending on this song actually came to be, because it was so unexpected. I mean, after all that hard driving stuff, and then the really cool ending on that. Who came up with that?
I love that you said that, because that's what it was about. It was all about not being predictable. And that was something that the old drummer that brought to the table. He is a good drummer. He was actually not supposed to be our drummer, but our producer, our sound engineer. Right, Manny?
Yeah, our sound engineer and producer, and we were short a drummer for whatever circumstance. So he filled in and recorded the song for us. But as far as those whale sounds go, if you listen to the words of the song, it's about, well, should I tell him, Ralph? It's somebody stalking a girl, really.
Okay.
So that's sort of the wailing noise of a stalker.
Of a birthing whale.
It has to do with stalking. And
Right.
It's a birthing whale. Oh, Manny, that's funny. You just asked an interesting question. I was more focused on the actual drumming part, but you're talking about the actual sound of, the sound effect at the end, right?
Is that what you were asking? Yeah.
Is that what you were referring to?
Yes.
Oh, no, me. No, that was totally me and we were searching for something, and we just both agreed on a whale sound, because it's very creepy. Like, my wife is afraid of the deep. One of the things that frightens her the most is the sound of a whale. So that's really interesting. Yeah.
What a better sound to represent the stalker, right?
Yeah.
I remember when you and I, when we were working on that, We were trying to come up with, we both agreed. We're like, yeah, that's it. The sound of a whale. And that's what it actually is. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna take a quick break here, and we're gonna get to the next song off the compilation. This song is by the Pollutions, and this one's called "Darker Dreams." Dig this.
Awesome.
The Pollutions, "Darker Dreams." Now, that was a really cool song. Very, very 90s alternative for sure. Like between the vocals and the riffs and the bridge, like it completely reminiscent of the 90s. Like really dug this tune. Who's next? Yeah.
Ed, guess first. Oh.
Yeah, that's Manny Unrosa. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, definitely.
It's alike, we definitely like it. It's our style of music. So I guess it's something you could probably listen to maybe 2 decades ago and listen to it 2 decades from now and still feel the same about it.
Yeah.
Something that's probably not going to die anytime soon.
Absolutely not. Ralph?
It's definitely, you know what? I miss the 90s big time. So it's something that we're missing a lot. One of the things that we, like for example, I'll give you an example. Like we used to talk about the Deftones a lot in the 90s.
Right.
And we used to say that they were such an influence on music, that they saved music during that time. But there was so much cool alternative music, and then all of a sudden the shit stopped. And we have, you want to hear stuff. You want to hear different things.
Right.
And the thing is that nowadays, what do you have out there?
Not a whole lot.
Nothing. There's not a whole lot of stuff. And what it is everybody's living off of these bands from the past. Because there's nothing new, and all of a sudden it's like the creativity, it just, I don't know, it imploded, whatever. But, that's why the rap scene is so strong. we try to incorporate what we can into anything that we do because you know what? Even rap is not out of the question.
Oh, fair enough. No one, Catherine?
Yeah, as you've already said, it's very 90s, very Seattle grunge. Although they did throw in some interesting things. I heard a couple jazz chords in there, some major sevenths.
Couple country licks.
Yeah.
I liked the octave vocal that they were doing.
I agree.
and that's Catherine's 2 cents.
Yeah, my 2 cents is I thought the vocals were the octave vocal was so cool. Honestly, they were so cool. I would have liked to have heard them just a little bit more because they just sounded so cool. And I love the song. I love the progressions and all of that. So yeah, I'd love to hear more out of the vocals.
Right on. So back to you guys, the Garage Bats. So when you guys have been like making new music, that sort of thing, have you guys? I know you said you kind of like pretty much it's completely eclectic, so there's no like kind of definite kind of type of sound for you guys. But how does it work when you guys are creating your songs? Because I mean, there's got to be a lot of influences and a lot of like kind of maybe possible disagreements. Like, so how does that work for you guys? Like, how do you guys kind of get us? You know what? Like, this really sounds good. We're gonna go with this instead of like something else saying like, you know what, this is alright, but we'll go with this instead.
All right.
What really helps is that we seem to have the same taste,
Yeah.
so our disagreements are really at a minimal
Very limited.
because we know what we like, and the fact is that we never really had one. I can't think. And what we really agree upon is if something's boring. That's what I like. We know something's boring and has to be tossed, and that's what drives me more than anything.
And nobody ever gets angry about it either.
Well, that's a good thing.
We totally support each other. We're very supportive, of each other, of each other's tastes and each other's preferences, and we always find a way to collaborate and make it sound good.
Well, that's definitely a good thing because
Right.
I mean, having disagreements here and there, not a big deal. But if it's constant all the time, then it kind of ruins the fun of what you guys are setting out to do.
We have a problem when we can work together. We're not together enough, but when we're together, we have a party, literally.
You also have to remember, we don't have a lot of time together. Manny and I live in New York City. I live in Manhattan. He lives in Queens, and Ralph lives in the Poconos.
Oh wow!
We have to drive out. We really don't have a lot of studio time together. When we recorded our album, we were only together a few months, and we only had that one day to do the recording in a few hours. So we did the best that we could. Imagine what we would sound like if we had more time, like most bands do, that are younger, that have less responsibilities.
Right.
They have families, and we have families to tend to. So it becomes tricky and very challenging. But we always find a way to make it work.
Well,
But we always have fun when we get together.
You're like teenagers.
Well, man, it sounds good because I never would have guessed that you guys don't spend a lot of time together jamming wise. So yeah, well done. So next up, we're gonna get to another track off the compilation called Agent Z because I'm Canadian, or Agent Z for the US. It saves the world. So
Right.
here is Cognitive Dissonance, and this is by a band called Dynetics. Dig this.